It's very clear that the Al-Falah University was not confined in its link to 10/11 to just these 4 terrorists. More people have been questioned. There are buildings, there are meeting rooms, there is a room 13 where meetings were taking place, and any institution would have been aware that ammunition, explosives were being stored in the homes of their employees, that secret meetings were taking place, and elaborate plans were being hatched from their soil. So the question remains, can Al-Falah University now say, we had no idea, we had nothing to do with this? Why are all the institutions and agencies and investigators now descending on Al-Falah University? Is it totally appropriate or is it simply unfair is the question. Joining me tonight, Shubhrastha, political analyst and author, Sarfaraz Wani, political analyst, advocate with the Jammu and Kashmir High Court. Shubhrastha, I want to come to you first. I think we can all agree that Al-Falah University isn't as innocent as it is officially claimed in a statement on day one, saying that they are shocked, that they have no idea, that this happened without any of their knowledge, because as the layers come off, it has become clear that it isn't just these 4 doctors who were employed by Al-Falah University, but many questionable actions over their standard operating procedures, their integrity, their credibility, which seems to have created a breeding ground for this Jaish-e-Mohammed sleeper cell. Shubhrastha.
Yes, Shiv, there are 2 things to this. Number one is, if the university does not know what's going on inside the premises, why should it remain a university in the very first place?
Yeah.
Is there no administration? Do they have no, control over what is discussed in either the classrooms or in digital spaces? Because it is about the moral temperature of a university. If the moral temperature of the university is so corroded, I don't think there is any point in the university being, existing. I think the government of India, that's what the Twitter chatter said. I have really not verified this. I think the government of India has gone ahead and cancelled the accreditation of the university.
Yes.
And I think it's a fantastic move. Any university which tampers with the basic sovereignty of this country, which is involved even in surreptitious ways, and this is a direct indictment, by the way, in Al-Falah's case, in harming the country in any which way, spreading terror modules, this is what should happen. And the second point is the larger question of Islamic terror and our inability to articulate it in its full gravitas and politically incorrect, if it were, grammar. We need to understand that it is a reality that not just India, globally, we are facing that kind of a problem. I remember an actor, a French actor, speaking to me almost a decade ago and saying, for a journal that I was putting up, and for saying that I do not know if I would be able to recognize Paris in a couple of years from now. And look at what is happening in Paris. Look at what is happening in almost all, the European and American cities. There is a problem. These are specific modules that have a pattern. If we do not recognize that pattern and if we do not have conversations around it, I don't think policymakers in this country or elsewhere will be able to tackle the issue. And in a democracy, it is more important that we have public conversations on these without inciting sentiments and without
and that is the bigger zoomed out issue. But I want to bring it back to the Al-Falah University because that is the case in point here. Sarfaraz Wani, why shouldn't Al-Falah University be shut down? Because as Shubhrastha says, if they have no idea what's going on their campus, what right do they have to remain a university?
Issue, first of all, law does not believe in assumptions, law does not believe in presumptions, and law does not believe in generalizations, right? So just because there have been some activities going on, we cannot generalize it. We cannot, there are, I guess, thousands of students, hundreds of professors. So you cannot generalize that everybody is involved, right? So the university was registered, it must be registered under some process. there was a proper registration, and getting a medical college license is not as easy. You have to go through all that.
So cancel
So
the
now,
registration
if
now.
ED, let me make my point. If ED is investigating, let ED make a fair investigation, and after that, let the government decide. Why would
No, but the
we
point
here
I'm
in the
making,
panel decide that
but Sarfaraz,
and make
I
somebody,
have no
make the
intention to
director
interrupt.
also culpable,
The point I'm
make
making
all the
is,
students also culpable? I think this is not fair.
The point
This
I'm
is not
making,
fair.
no, the point I'm making is, how can the university turn around and say we had no idea what was going on? I am merely saying, due procedure will happen, sir. I am simply saying, what right does a university have to exist if they turn around and say we have no idea that
What's
that a
our
terror plot was
right?
being hatched on our campus? Then
See,
why
what's
should
our
they be
right?
trusted with
What's
anything,
our right
including
to
the education
question
of
the whole
students?
university itself? See, I know this is very this should not have happened at all. But the question is, what's our right to question the whole university and the whole management?
Why not?
See,
I am literally asking you, why not? How, if they don't know it, why should they be
understand.
allowed to operate anything
I
at
am
all?
telling you, let ED. This case has been taken up by multiple investigating agencies, right? There is
No.
ED, there
I'll
is
tell you
Delhi
why.
Police, there
I'll
is
tell you
Jammu and
why
Kashmir
this is.
Police.
I'll tell you why
And
this is a question, Sarfaraz.
please
It's
let
because
me make my
people like
point.
you. It's because people like
No,
you
no,
are
no.
more
Shiv, let me
concerned.
make my point.
You're more
Let me
concerned
make my
about the
point. Shiv, let me
university.
make my point.
You're more
Let me
concerned
make
about
my
the
point.
university campus
No, no.
and the other students and the other teachers and the principal, rather than the fact
No.
that a terror attack has happened and the cell
We
was
need to
practically
understand
operating from
this
their
terror
campus,
attack,
and the university wants us to think that nobody knew about it.
See, first of all, who did investigation in the case? It is the Jammu and Kashmir police, the Muslim officers
Yeah, so
who worked here
when did
and
I
Jammu
bring
and
in
Kashmir
religion?
police.
When did
No,
I
that's
bring
what
in
I'm
religion?
saying. We should not blame a
When
university
did I bring
itself.
in religion, sir? I'm talking about a university here.
Just because Al-Falah University, we Muslims have very few universities. Understand this.
Sir,
You
one
cannot
second.
go on and taking every
That does not
university.
give it the right to exist. You're saying Muslims have very few universities, so please allow a
I'm
few
saying
of them
don't
to function,
generalize.
even if
My only
they
point is
accommodate terror.
those who
What
are
rubbish is
culpable,
this?
bring them to bring them to justice, but do not bring the whole university as a culprit.
This is
Is
this.
everybody? There are 5,000
Let,
students. Will you go on and say 5,000 students are
those students
culpable
are
in this whole
unsafe.
case?
Those students
That's
are
what my
unsafe.
point is.
Shubhrastha, you would agree with me. Those students are unsafe. The very fact that the university has not been able to give the innocent students of Al-Falah a safe campus to function and study and pursue their dreams, functioning and pursuing academics just a few hundred meters away from where a terrorist plot was being hatched, means this university has no right to exist. Those safe students should be elsewhere. They should not be in Al-Falah. It should be shut down. That is my extreme view, Shubhrastha.
Not at all. This is not a reasonable argument.
Absolutely. So, the gentleman was talking about how there are thousands of professors and, students and all of that. I think Shiv, when you say that, you actually speak for all of them who have no linkage to this kind of terror plot being hatched.
Yeah.
It is important not just to ensure their physical and emotional safety, but also their ideological safety.
Yes.
We need to understand that when one enters into a profession like medicine or engineering or all these professions which have a technical angle to them, there is very little ideological indoctrination or education that has happened prior to we getting into these institutes.
So shutting down universities is not the solution.
We did not come across terms like
universities is not a solution,
Islam
right?
and jihad and all of that. So allow me to speak. I did not speak when you were speaking. The problem is exactly this: the intellectual justification or the intellectual protection cover to these agents of I don't know what kind of state, but definitely political Islam, either fueled by foreign agencies or by the ideological issues that Islam itself has. If Muslims do not speak against it, it is going to be a problem. I think, let me give a shout out to a letter that was shared by Mr. Shiv Aroor today. And I think 5 eminent Indian Muslims have written an open letter saying that they condemn the attack and all of that. We need more voices like that. One may find issues with that letter. I'm not trying to deny the critique around it. But people need to come out in the open, and they need to come out from within the community.
I am worried. Sarfaraz Wani. I take your point, but I'll tell you why you are extremely wrong. Because you are saying, let the others study. Why do you want to allow those innocent students to study in Al-Falah University When terrorism is happening on that campus, sir, I am worried about those students. I want blameless Muslim students of Al-Falah University to have a good, safe education in a place where they are not vulnerable to radicalization, where they are not vulnerable to being close to, 2,900 kilograms of explosives being stored in somebody's house. Is that where you want to send young Muslims to study?
The solution is not shutting down universities. So
it should not only be shut down, in my view, it should be razed to the ground.
You booked all the. So this is what a jingoistic ideology is all about. Raising ground, bulldozing, doing all this.
Terrorist attack.
I think this is somehow.
I am actually a little shocked. I am a little shocked.
You are speaking the language of all those people who are on my Instagram trolls and speaking bulldoze.
So it is
all
jingoistic.
those bulldoze, all those
Sarfaraz,
I think we need to understand this is not the way, right?
So are you trying
First of
to
all,
say that
everybody has a right. Everybody has every religion has a right to exist and to practice its
You are diverting.
obligation.
You are trying to hide behind
No, I'm not
religiosity.
diverting. I'm not diverting.
No,
there is no right to bulldoze
you tried
any
to,
place.
Your legal argument
You cannot
was fine.
bulldoze
but
a university.
This religion argument
you
has
cannot
fallen.
bulldoze a university.
Shubhrastha has
just because it has a Muslim name.
Shubhrastha has a question
I'm saying
for you.
bring all the people.
Sorry, Sarfaraz, but all these, you accuse us of talking like trolls. Let me tell you, you are talking like a fundamentalist jihadi right now. If you're speaking to us in the language that you are, let me explain how. Nobody is saying that Islam. Please let me explain.
This is nonsense.
In a secular country like India, we are not demanding that Islam doesn't exist. We are saying that any terror organization or any terror network or any terror module that is even if it is linked peripherally to Islam shouldn't exist, and that is not an indictment of Islam. That is an indictment of a politically vicious version of Islam, which should not exist in a democracy. It's my simple point. I don't understand why can't you differentiate between what a troll is saying, who is making a communal argument about destabilizing the country by completely uprooting Islam from this country, and the argument that which we are bringing to the table. Remove any kind of politics and political indoctrination that is happening in the name of Islam.
You have harmed.
If you cannot make a difference between these two nuanced arguments, I think, sir, you are a troll.
Let me complete. Had you seen
please do not get personal and call any one of us troll here.
Yeah.
No. Had you seen the reaction of the public in Kashmir? You see many places came up, many places erupted, and there were protests for something which happened in Delhi.
Sir, so
this is something which you need to understand.
None
that
of that matters.
We equally are grieved.
But none of that
as
matters.
Muslims, as the citizens of this country,
that matters
we are
if you
grieved
think,
by all that.
If you think
but
that
doesn't
due process
mean
against Al-Falah, questions being asked,
we are
and
also,
us saying that
Muslims
this is not just about those terrorists, is about being anti-Muslim. That is ridiculous. This is a national security issue, sir.
When somebody makes comments against all the Muslims,
and you're trying to hide behind something else.
We are also hurt.
What are you
saying? We are also the citizens of the country. We have equal rights in this country, right?
Sarfaraz, please answer this question with a very calm head. Did any one of us, did Shiv or I say that you are a terrorist? Did any one of us make that claim? Even in insidious ways?
What is the sense of making that you bulldoze a university, right? There are students.
I don't think we're talking about bulldozing a university.
Didn't say that.
Shiv made a comment.
I will stand by it. I will qualify that remark as I bring this to a close.
What about the career of all the students? What about the future of all the students?
I'll tell you.
So I am saying, go.
Let me have the last word, Sarfaraz. I'm out of time.
Book all the culprits.
I'm out of time, but I will say
every culprit.
I will say
not spare even one culprit.
Let me just have the last word.
Please do not generalize.
Who have already lost their loved ones. When we have families where young members have been maimed, they need some kind of justice.
Okay.
Even if the university is bulldozed, you cannot use innocent students as a shield to say the university should not, should exist. I'm sorry that
Shubhrastha and Sarfaraz.
Let law take its course.
I will take the last word.
Or metaphysically.
My last word on this is by saying don't destroy the careers of students, Sarfaraz. You are literally destroying their career by saying let them continue to study in a place, don't tar them with the same brush. Nobody is tarring the students. We are pointing at the university and saying, how dare you say you had nothing to do with this or had no idea of this when you are jeopardizing innocent students by letting them be on a campus that is so broken up that it has radicalization happening. and radicalization happening to an extent where people have conducted a terrorist strike in the national capital while planning it on that campus. And you say, oh, don't go after the university. I'm sorry, I completely reject that. I care for the university. I care for the university students. But I want to see it end because they have completely shirked their responsibility to provide safe education for innocents and not for the terrorists, because they're the ones who were actually safe on campus until brave officers, as you said, you're the one who is defining them by their religion, Muslim officers for Jammu and Kashmir, each and every one of them an Indian citizen who have bravely cracked this conspiracy and resulted in this not becoming a much larger terror attack.